Hey everybody, today I just wanted to talk about a few different things that'll help make your Shadows of the Erdtree experience better and make it to where maybe you don't die as much. So first off, if you're feeling weak and you don't know why, it's because there's a secondary scaling system in the game, and you need to make sure that you're increasing these as you're going through the game. So the first thing here is you have the Shadow Realm Blessing, this one right here is a Scibbidy Tree Blessing, and then you have the Revered Spirit Ash Blessing. Both of these affect different things. So the Scibbidy Tree Blessing trademark is going to increase how much damage you deal and reduce how much damage you take. So this is going to be how you get your own strength back, and then the Revered Spirit Ash Blessing is going to increase the power of your Spirit Ashes and going to increase the damage reduction of your mount, I believe. So that's the first thing. I honestly kind of slept on increasing this in the beginning. Granted, you only have access to so many. Like I think you can get it like early on up to like 5 or 6 maybe, and then I guess the game's opened up. So like if you go and find all the side paths, you could go find a ton of these and get this up to like 10 or something before you even fight a single boss. And I honestly would recommend that you do that. So I was having a lot of trouble, and then once I did that, going from like a 2 to a 10, for example, is a massive difference. And if you want to know where these fragments are, so the Scibbidy Tree fragments are all by the Michaela's Crosses, guaranteed, and then you can find them in other places like chests. There's going to be a couple boss, like I know if you go here through the front gate and fight the Golden Hippopotamus, he's going to drop you one. If you come down over here, I believe there's some hippos over here that will also drop one. There's like 2 hippos over here that'll drop one. Then you can come over down to here. I believe there's another hippo that'll drop one, and you'll find them all over. You'll find them in chests. You'll find them in random altars. Like a good example is like over here in the ruins. I believe it's right over here. There's some ruins right here, and you'll find one just by an altar. And then when it comes to the Spirit Ash blessings, those ones are a little bit harder to find, but you will be able to find them. Those ones you're probably just going to have to find them more naturally, or you're going to have to Google, because those ones don't really show up by the crosses. You actually have to go in and explore. They're in like caves and all kinds of different places. So not necessarily harder to get, it's just you actually have to go into places and just do a bunch of running in order to get them, right? So for the Scibbidy Tree Blessing, it's going to take you 2 all the way up till level 10 to increase it each time. Once you get to level 10, it's going to take you 3. For the Revered Spirit Ash Blessing, my understanding is from like 1 to 4 it takes 2, and then it starts taking 3, and then from like 5 to 6, I believe. Okay. Yeah, and then so then like from 5 to 8 it takes 3. Apparently it's going to go up to 4 after I hit 8, right? Currently I'm at where it takes 3. But yeah, but definitely don't sleep on those. It's going to help you out a ton. It's something I'm actually going to be doing just to help me kill the last bosses. I think I'm going to go run around and try to max out that blessing to try to make this boss fight a little bit easier. Right? Okay, so the next thing is don't sleep on the talismans. So I typically didn't really use these talismans before because I didn't have any survival issues, but now since you're scaled down, and chances of you just being at 20, like the max 20 like super fast, is just not necessarily that high. Means that these are going to be pretty useful. Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman does physical damage. So a good example of me going from being able to not kill bosses to kill bosses, because I was intelligent and I decided to do this on a new game plus 2 or 3 character. Yet don't do that. I really don't recommend doing that. But that's what I did, right? So I came over here and I was getting absolutely clapped by Commander Gaius. Once I put on the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman and I went and leveled up my Scibbidy Tree Blessing like 5 or 6 times, all of a sudden I could actually kill him and I could take a hit. Because the issue was never like dealing damage. It was just always everything they did. If I got hit a single time, I would die. So I was pretty much playing if I'm going to kill a boss, I just can't get hit from the beginning. I want to say Commander Gaius. Like once I went here, I did like Rolana. And then I think I came over, I did like a couple more bosses, and then it was in the Shadow Keeper. I was like, okay, I need to stop ignoring this system, and it made all the difference in the world. So, yeah, but don't sleep on these. These are amazing. So what I typically do is I'll run Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, which, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong here, you get it from Altus Plateau right over here. There's like an encampment, there's like an encampment similar to the one that's, there's an encampment similar to the one that's over here. These Gatefront ruins. It's kind of like a similar thing to that. and the Great Shield Talisman's like just on a corpse or something like that. So it's fairly easy to get. So highly recommend that. And then the next thing I do is I run one of these depending on the area I'm in. Sometimes I don't. Like if I don't feel like it's making that much of a difference, I'll just go ahead and take it off and use another damage one. But typically I'll have one of these on. And keep in mind that in the Shadow Realms, they actually have another version of all the resistance ones. So this is one I found, the Golden Braid, so it boosts holy damage negation by the utmost. So it'll take you from like, if you have like a, for example, I think I have like a 50, and it takes me up to like a 64 or something like that whenever I put it on. So it's actually a decent chunk. I know I found this one over here in, yeah, I found it right here in this Scibbidy place. But yeah, there's more of them all over, and then all these other ones that I have, I actually got from the base game. So you can, and you really don't necessarily need to go and find these ones yet. You can, if you have these from the base game, like that'll be very, very good, right? So just run this and run one of these, and depending on the area you're in, and I think you'll have a much, much better time with not dying. All right. So next up we have the quest lines. So I didn't know this, but you need to make sure that you keep the quest lines up if you want to have the NPC spirit summons. So I had the NPC summons all the way up until the last boss because I thought I was on track, but I accidentally missed a step. So, and once you burn a tree, you're going to get to a point after the Church of Bud where it's going to ask you, hey, do you want to burn a tree? And if you say yes to that, that's the point of no return. That's the point where all of a sudden the NPCs are all going to randomly die, and if you did mess up the quest like I did, they are going to die. So, and it's very, very unfortunate because it'll give you NPC summons for pretty much every one of the main bosses. So if you're in Shadow Keep fighting the Mesmers, I believe you'll be able to summon, what's his name, Onsout or something like that, the horned guy. Then once you get to the final boss, you'll be able to summon like Dragon Knight, Ansbach, or something like that. So, and you really want these summons. These summons are going to make things tremendously easier just by being a distraction, because a lot of the bosses in this, they just have the most random attack patterns you're ever going to see. Like I even went and I was playing in the base game some a little bit, and it really is, they definitely changed the AI on the bosses to make the bosses attack more randomly, to make the bosses switch aggro easier. Like I went and I was playing, what was I doing? I think I was, oh yeah, I was going to try out this Omen Killer Wallow, so I wanted to pick it up, right? And so I go and I do this boss, and the whole time the bosses are all just focusing on my Mimic Tier. So I went and I summoned it just because I wanted to see. I wanted to see how well the Mimic Tier can actually, hold aggro. And they just stayed on the Mimic Tier the whole time. If you go summon like the Mimic Tier on one of these bosses in the Shadow Realm, that is not going to happen. They're going to stay on you like white on rice. The moment you hit them a single time, they're going to turn and at least do one full combo on you. There's not really a whole lot of, oh, well, I'm just going to keep attacking your Spirit Ash. It's no. We're going to turn and hit you now, and we're going to keep, and we are going to absolutely keep coming at you, and we are going to try and destroy you. So very, very unfortunate. So definitely make sure you have those quest lines done. Now, the main quest line that you need to know about is Freya right here at the 3-path cross. Come up here, talk to Ansbach over here at the main gate cross. They're going to have some little like piddly stuff for you to do. Like you're going to need to find 3 secret crosses and go tell them about it. And then once you get into like Castle Insis and then like Shadow Keep, I believe Shadow Keep in the storehouse, you have to go find like a special item inside of Shadow Keep, and then you got to go to Ansbach and give it to him. Just stuff like that. It's really not hard. You just got to make sure that you do it and you don't miss a step. I don't know which step I missed. I think I must have not talked to him in Shadow Keep, because I could have swore I did, but yeah, I totally jacked it up for me, so don't be like me. Yep. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it. Those are just some general tips that really can be applied regardless of like the build you're running. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.